Stop what you are doing right now, because I am about to tell you the story of a man who built an $8 billion empire from absolute nothing. A man who grew up so poor, he dropped out of school at age 15 just to help his family survive. A man who bribed presidents, generals, police chiefs, judges. A man who escaped from not one, but two maximum security prisons. One time, he walked out through the front gate in a laundry cart. The second time, his men dug a mile-long tunnel directly beneath his prison cell, complete with lighting, ventilation, and a motorcycle on rails, so he could ride out in style. A man so powerful that when he was finally put in an American prison, the United States government genuinely feared he might escape again. A man who sat down for a secret jungle meeting with a Hollywood movie star while every law enforcement agency on the planet was hunting him. And a man whose drug empire shipped so much cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine into the United States that experts say he is personally responsible for hundreds of thousands of American deaths. I am talking about Joaquin Archibaldo Guzman Loera. The world knew him by a different name, El Chapo. If you are new to DocuVault TV, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on that bell notification. Every week we bring you the stories that the world needs to hear. And if today's story shocks you, hit like, drop a comment, share it with someone who needs to see this. Because this story is unlike anything we have ever covered. Let's get into it. Joaquin Guzman was born on April 4th, 1957, in a small mountain village called La Tuna in the Badiraguato municipality of Sinaloa, Mexico. La Tuna was not a place with many options, just mountains, poverty, and poppy fields. His father was a small-time poppy farmer who physically abused his family. Guzman dropped out of school at around age 15, not because he wasn't smart, because his family was starving and he needed to work. He started small, growing and selling marijuana in the mountains of Sinaloa. But even at 15, people noticed something different about this kid. He was smart, fearless, and completely unafraid of consequences. He caught the attention of Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, the most powerful drug trafficker in Mexico. Gallardo brought the young Guzman into his organization, and from that moment, there was no going back. In the late 1980s, Felix Gallardo's organization collapsed after the brutal murder of an American DEA agent named Kiki Camarena. The Mexican drug trade was divided up. Joaquin Guzman received control of the Sinaloa corridor. It was considered the least valuable. Nobody wanted it. Within a decade, El Chapo had turned that unwanted mountain corridor into the most powerful drug trafficking route on the planet. He did it through extreme violence and intelligence. He was the first drug lord to use tunnels to move drugs under the US-Mexico border, professional tunnels, with electricity and ventilation. While other cartels were throwing drugs over fences, El Chapo was running an underground railroad of narcotics. He moved cocaine, heroin, and marijuana by the ton. By the mid-2000s, the Sinaloa cartel under El Chapo controlled an estimated 40 to 60% of all drug traffic entering the United States. 40 to 60% of everything. But El Chapo's rise was not just about tunnels and logistics. It was built on blood. Rival cartel leaders were tortured and killed. Mexican law enforcement officers who refused to be bribed were executed. The Sinaloa cartel's war with the rival Zetas cartel left tens of thousands dead across Mexico. Entire towns were emptied. El Chapo himself ordered hundreds of murders. He was not just a businessman. He was a warlord with his own private army, his own intelligence network. The US Treasury declared him the most powerful drug trafficker in the world. Forbes magazine listed him among the world's most powerful people, alongside Barack Obama and Vladimir Putin. In 1993, El Chapo was arrested in Guatemala and extradited to Mexico. He was sentenced to 20 years in the Puente Grande maximum security prison, maximum security, in January 2001, just 8 months before his scheduled extradition. El Chapo escaped. He was wheeled out of prison in a laundry cart and drove away. The Mexican government was humiliated. For 13 years, El Chapo remained a fugitive. He ran his empire from a series of safe houses in the Sinaloa mountains, always moving, always one step ahead. In February 2014, he was captured at a beachfront hotel in Mazatlan. He was taken to Mexico's most secure prison, the Altiplano Federal Penitentiary. The world breathed a sigh of relief. 17 months later, On July 11th, 2015, prison guards noticed El Chapo was gone. He had vanished from his cell. In the corner, they found a hole in the floor. And beneath that hole, they found something extraordinary. A tunnel, 1.5 kilometers long. El Chapo rode that motorcycle out of prison while his guards watched TV in the room above him. What happened next is one of the most bizarre true crime stories in modern history. Hollywood actor Sean Penn was secretly traveling to the Mexican jungle to interview him. In October 2015, Penn met El Chapo in a jungle hideout. They talked for hours. El Chapo was charming, relaxed, confident. He said, "I supply more drugs than anybody else in the world. I have a fleet of submarines and planes." The meeting agreed to for his own vanity had helped lead authorities to his location. On January 8, 2016, Mexican Marines raided a safe house in Los Mochis. El Chapo was captured for the third and final time. In January 2017, El Chapo was extradited to the United States. His trial began in November 2018 in Brooklyn Federal Court. What came out in that courtroom was almost impossible to believe. He had paid a $10 million bribe to former Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto. He had bribed military generals, government officials, an entire country's law enforcement system, bought and paid for by one man. He was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. He is currently held at ADX Florence, the most secure prison in the United States, in a cell measuring 7 feet by 12 feet. Alone, the man who had 2 countries at his feet now lives in a box. El Chapo is gone, but the Sinaloa cartel is not. El Chapo's sons, known as Los Chapitos, now run parts of the cartel. You cannot arrest your way out of a drug crisis. As long as there is demand, there will always be someone willing to supply it. El Chapo built an $8 billion empire from nothing. He bribed an entire government, escaped from prison twice. If this story blew your mind, please hit that like button right now. Seriously, share this video, subscribe right now. Because next week on DocuVault TV, we are covering a mystery so strange, so impossible, so completely unsolved. Next week on DocuVault TV, imagine hijacking a plane in broad daylight with your real name. Imagine strapping on a parachute and jumping out of a commercial airliner at night in the middle of a storm over the mountains of the Pacific Northwest, and then vanishing completely, forever. Next week, we go deeper into the D.B. Cooper mystery than anyone has gone before. Subscribe now. The darkest stories and the greatest mysteries are just beginning.